Yeah.
Remember when you said,
yo, what's up? This is Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV with my co-host, Jeremy Scippio.
What's going on, people?
And Anyi Malik.
hey, what's happening? Blessings. Y'all are the blessings.
What's
up?
One of the grindiness, still doing hand-to-hand combat with the promotion and all that kind of thing. And you know what? I got a lot of respect for you because you actually, you do hand-to-hand marketing with the stuff that you got going on, because a lot of people even I kind of saw how people abused, I won't say abused, but maybe leaned on social media. Back in MySpace days, people just kind of felt like, okay, if you're doing something, you can throw it up online and then your friends will see it. And so then whatever you're doing is just going to be like the greatest success in the world because you threw it online. But the reality of it is, man, that's just a little icing on the cake, or the cherry or the sprinkles that go on top of the icing after the whole cake has been made. Yeah. It's not like just because you throw something on, you do a story or you hashtag somebody or get a retweet or something like that. That doesn't mean that you're just going to be successful by, whatever you got going. So,
well, in a sense, you are, because you're getting it out. But yeah, it's
takes more.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. I always have been kind of like a out there type of person, although that has been kind of exhausting and kind of repetitive. So the trick has been to kind of re-innovate so that maybe you don't have to do as much work as you maybe like selling CDs. I was definitely from the selling CDs. If you had to see, I put my very first album out. I put it up on Spotify and Apple Music and all that shit before it was popular, or before it was the standard.
Yeah.
But I really just wanted it everywhere. And just so when I have CDs and somebody say I don't even have a CD player, I'm like, man, it's on your phone right now. Just do. I had a link. And then when the QR code kind of came in, it's like, I don't even have to hand you the product if it's synced right. If it's the right QR code going to the right landing page, it'll take you right to the product, to the creation, to the art. And then yeah, it'd be like a sticker or something. And then so now you get the artwork, you get something physical.
Excuse me real quick, Anyi. Spin the record back.
Spin the record.
I said spin the record back. For those that don't know what a QR code is, explain what a QR code is and then the significance it has to what you taught,
Well, QR code, I think at this point, everybody has come in contact with the QR code, especially at this day and age. Like when you sit down at a restaurant and they don't have no more menus and you scan that barcode or you scan that little thing at the table, you run your photo, your pictures over that, you run your camera over that and a website comes up. That's the QR code that you run it up. Now, before the cameras automatically picked it up on the iPhones, I don't know what they do on the Androids and other, it would be a whole different app that you had to open up to scan. And I would still be like, that's still dope to still even say, open your scanner app, scan this. And so you can go straight to the website instead of, especially because websites be having tricky names and it's a lot to remember. You could just scan it. And it's something that you can go from your phone straight to the site, which is already on your phone. So it's just making the loop very easy to close. And then at some point, the cameras became standard with the QR code readers, and that's just kind of just already folded into how I was moving with my shit, just like a lot of the other shit that I was already doing. And so then now I'm like doing stickers. I'll take the album artwork of the sticker without the title and just it's the sticker and you scan it, because now you scan it. I was doing landing pages with my distributing company, but now I'm going straight to my website because now I have more than what the landing page could even offer in terms of what kind of content is associated with the physical merch with the QR code. For example, I just dropped the Wing Set, my latest comedy EP. And part of that, I got these t-shirts, you know what I'm saying? With kind of like my shit, kind of like my Toon face, but it's like with a chicken, with the KFC chicken spoof. type of take on it because I'm joking about the chicken shortage and I mentioned Tinder in one of the jokes. But in addition to the shirts, man, I got these shirts and stickers, and I got this wing box. It's a merch box, man. I was trying to get one to the homie, but I got one coming to you, partner. Greg, you make these, so you don't, you was.
I'm a bootleg my own.
You make bro. Just go ahead. You have my permission to go ahead and make you.
I'll be tomorrow morning.
So this is something physical. So now this is like, okay, I'm joking about the chicken, and this looked like some to-go chicken. It got the stickers, it got the QR code and the album QR. They both go to a landing page on my website where I got the audio links for the Spotify. Plus also embedded is the videos distributed on Vivo, but it's embedded, you know what I mean, through the YouTube, embedded on this site. And it even has the merch links. It's got the shows coming up. And it also has the full 15-minute comedy set that I originally recorded that I even shaved down from this to make this, something that I wanted to put out. And so it was more about, man, making my comedy something tangible and physical, more than just, a set that I performed and produced and it is out there, you know what I mean? So now it's like some shit like, okay, so yeah, I got these chicken boxes. And it's like, oh, he was joking about the wing. He got some to-go boxes. What's in the box? Oh man, it's a little sauce packet, a little packet with some more stickers, you know what I mean? So you can rip this open, and also, the t-shirt. And so now it's like, yeah, man, it's just art. It's just really art to the next level. And we like, especially as a comedian, man, we like to hang our hats on artism and artisticness, and I'm an artist and all this shit. But it really gives a opportunity to really stand on that, man, and really feel that, man, and really conceptualize bigger than the stage.
Yeah. Since you brought that up, I actually that reminded me of some of the craziest hip hop marketing ideas. I know, or even merch. I know. I'm trying to bring up the list, but I can't find it right now. But I know the number one top craziest hip hop marketing idea was Eminem had urinal cakes.
Oh God, I don't remember that one.
No, it was for the Marshall Mathers LP, man. Yeah, urinal cakes.
I did,
bro. He was exclusive with this. Nobody else had this.
I had these when I was interning at Universal Music Video Distribution hella long ago, man. I had these D12 matchbooks, and I had like 7 years of matches, man. D12.
Shout out.
But that's the type of shit. But yeah, that's the type of shit that's like. But see, now if they had the barcode on it, that'd have been next level. Yeah,
I'm looking for some right now. Dang, I know Ludacris. I think he had the chicken and beer. He had like restaurants pop up. Like little pop up, where he made fun. I'm trying to find him, man.
Yeah, I would love to get into shit like that, man. Yeah, like
you're definitely an innovator in that area.
It's so interesting because I tell people, I tell them that the record industry, people don't give them credit for being as smart as they are. Like they're really, I mean, you could say it's evil or it's corrupt or just whatever that part is. But as far as the smart part, they almost as smart as the cereal companies that sold cereal to the kids and they got the kids hooked on the colors and the fruity smells and the sugar and all that kind of stuff. Because dude, the record industry really got you to buy things that were like $20 that only physically cost, we'll say with marketing and everything, about $4, $3, $4 for something that's really good. And you're spending $20 and you're doing it over and over and over and many times in a year. And even if you didn't necessarily like an artist, if two artists were kind of coming out at the same time, you would get the one from the artist that you liked, and then you might get the one from the artist that you didn't like, just to see. And the cold part about it is, even if people bootlegged it, the record company still made money. Because like for me, if I just got something for free a whole bunch of times, I'll finally just break down and be like, man, you know what, man, I done bootlegged. I didn't have the little cheap version of the CD that scratches up after 4 times you play it, 5 times you play it, whatever. Man, I'm gonna treat myself and get the glass mastered, man, and just know I could just, you know what I'm saying, have some longevity to it. So I say all that to say, it's a trip.
He finna bootleg my shirts, man. He finna bootleg my. He finna bootleg.
Hey, one's gonna be bootleg tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? Tomorrow morning, and you know the thing about it is interesting that you say that you work with Universal and just you being around that culture and that environment, because people don't understand it. But when it comes to like distribution and record and all that kind of stuff, you have people that are just casually smart all the time moving around, and they're literally paid for their ideas and what they got going. And like you being at Universal, I'm sure that when you saw those matches, you weren't thinking like, oh man, this is the greatest marketing thing in the, or just whatever. But like now you can look back on that and you'd be like, man, somebody got paid a whole lot of money to come up with that idea. And it probably did contribute to the success. Well,
I thought it was dope because that was the album cover, was the matchbook on fire. So if they got a bunch of matches, I was like, you know, that was dope. And it was a cool album to me. And I was into Eminem and D12 at the time. So that was the shit, actually. And yeah, I never really put it together to think like artist merch like that until I started releasing stuff kind of like a music person, you know, like not knowing that the comedy fell into the same category as works to be released. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of put me in that kind of frame of mind where, yeah, it does have to be, you do have to have something that is commemorative and something that, yeah, like tour shirts and shit like that. I've seen a lot of comedians eat off of merch, but for it to be, you know, as various as it is, that's always existed. So I wanted something that would be like a little bit more than just merch, but just like kind of a little bit artistic, man. Like the whole thing is kind of double and triple entendres and jokes on itself and kind of, you know, like the box, like the wing box. The whole thing was really about the wing box, really. It's just something physical. You know what I mean? I had the idea about all the idea all at once. I think I came on the Craig Facts and was talking about how I was going to put all of this shit together. Not saying that it was going to be a wing set, just saying I was working on it, you know? But you can't talk about it till it's really done. And so even that, it was like having the idea to have, you know, these jokes about this chicken, man. There's one, you know, it's just this one joke that was just hilarious to me, and I wanted to release it, but you can't just put out just some joke about chicken. Gotta have sides, man, and you know, gotta have a whole bunch of shit. You know, I had a little thing together. It's 10 minutes, a 10-minute EP. It ain't a whole album, so I didn't have to do the most, but to have it, you know, in something that looked like a chicken box, man, and it was just like the whole thing was comedy. The whole thing was, it's artistic, man. This shit is weird. It makes me want to do like pop-ups and shit like that. Like
man, you like I say in our comedy environment, you like the father of that. And I wanted to do. It's hard executing, I'll tell you that, because I wanted to do the same thing with Sociopath. I mean, that's why on the cover it had me drinking a Capri Sun, and if you listen to it, that's why I said during when they was doing the marching or whatever, they was trying to call it a riot, and I said I knew it wasn't a riot because they had refreshment stations, like they had Capri Suns. Like I never seen nobody fuck the city up drinking a Capri Sun. You know what I mean? So I used that as a marketing tool, and actually I wanted to go deeper, but you know, just everything was botched, so I just kind of dropped it. But I was even thinking like, man, what if I came up with like a alcoholic version of Capri Suns? And, you know, like,
all right, bro, just get you the stickers, bro. Just get the stickers and get you some straight up Capri Suns and slap the sticker on the Capri Sun. Well, and that sound ghetto. But some people call it white labeling.
Yeah, you're not wrong, but I can't do it on a Capri Sun because even the term Capri Sun is a copyrighted, you know, trademark impending thing. But I could do it on my Sociopath alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
Exclusively
Right.
made and produced right here in North Hollywood. But even
though out there mixing drink in your kitchen.
You see the Diddy tribute where he was doing they performed Pastor Cavassier. But come on, man, that's old. That was before Ciroc. So
yeah,
he said pass the Ciroc this way. But yeah, you're not.
Yeah, right, exactly. But even like Ciroc or some shit, right? So they got you could just get a bottle, right? But they got also shit where you can, if you want to do the most, you can get the box set.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
where
right.
it's like, oh,
get a couple
glasses
with
the glasses, right. You get a little something that the comedy can also be the same way. It can exist the same way. You can get a shirt, you can get some stickers, or you can get, you can get this interactive little thing. You can have all that.
So what city did you grow up in?
Oakland, in the Bay Area, between Oakland and Richmond. My parents was divorced, so it's hard but mostly Oakland.
Which would be the
I mean, mom's had primary custody in Richmond, but I spent most of my young adult life or young youth in Oakland.
Getting groomed and grazed off in the O.
Something like that. I mean, the Bay Area is a magical place, man. And I was like all over the Bay, really. And it was like, but Oakland being the hub of, most of where I was at most of the time. And then having to go all over the Bay, having jobs and school and, everywhere in the Bay, man, is a trip to really understand travel and journey and just even like regional differences in the Bay and regional differences within Oakland. You know what I mean? And related to the Bay. Man, it was definitely a lesson or, like an experience, man, especially in California, because California is a lot like the Bay, especially these days, man, it's hella diverse.
Real quick. I was in the Bay on Saturday night. I was up there with Slink real quick to go on. He had a little situation, and I,
yeah.
Oh, it's cool. It was cool. I got a very dear place in my heart for the Bay. Like, I mean, very dear because you have this cross pollination.
Everything is there, man.
Of power for the people, but also hippieisms. And so
also some niggas will get up in your shit over there. Also,
they was there. You know what I'm saying? No, they was there. I'm sure that where I was, it was a couple of them. You know what I'm saying? They just wasn't showing no teeth. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't showing no teeth right there. But it was interesting because, like in the Bay, it doesn't matter what color you are. That's kind of where it's different than LA a little bit. Like, so the engineer that was engineering the show, she's like this white chick, look not really hippie, but maybe kind of rock and roll-ish or whatever. So after she finished the show and the DJ was playing the music, she started busting her little hyphy dance. I was like, I miss the Bay. Yeah. I was like, man, I miss the Bay. It's like, it's even though there could be some divisiveness, the togetherness is just some other, like, it's different.
Yeah, it's a lot up there that's not binary, black and white, and you definitely will go far in the Bay, not judging the book by its cover, and man, it's definitely great to be from there and see what parts, especially because I moved away at 24, like right before I turned 25, and then to be out here this long, you get to see what's yours and what's the Bay. You know what I mean? Or like, certain shit, I'll just be chilling and they be like, you can tell he from you can tell he from Oakland, you can tell he from the Bay, you can tell he. And I'm like, okay, well, that's good to know, but it's good. It's an excellent place to be from and go back and visit, man. I love it.
Yeah, you're definitely like my barometer for Bay things, like it's not even like Bay related. It's more like how Anyi is this versus would Anyi even do that or deal with that? That's how I judge how bass something is. Because it wasn't relevant to me until I moved out here. You know what I mean? Because I remember I was having some hip hop conversation, and this is the first time I ever heard somebody say this, like, who's your top 5 all time, rappers or whatever? And they like, blah, 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 E40. I was like, wait, what? And they got serious. And I was like, what's going on? That's what I realized. Like, oh, it's a whole culture. It's not just, you know what I'm saying? Because where I'm from, or even anything East Coast, E40 was more like seemed more like a novelty than a top tier.
I caught a lot of disrespect from people mentioning E40 in hip hop conversations, bro. They would probably double back.
Oh yeah,
these days.
And he gets more acknowledgement now than
right.
than just 10 years ago. But now he's acknowledged more of a pioneer, and especially the slang. Majority of the slang terms associated with hip hop was birthed by E40. Some that Snoop Dogg or the West Coast get credit for actually came directly from that man.
Well, really, that's a Bay Area thing, man. Like even that, man, it's like 100 different slangs in the Bay. You know, like. Even me, like I'll just make up some shit. That's what lamb chopping was all about. My first album, hella long ago, it was some shit that I would say, just only my homies knew. If I was wingman or I was kicking it with them, and I seen a woman looking, women look at dudes, they with the hungry eye, the shit look like cartoons. When Wile E. Coyote looking at the Roadrunner with them lamb chops in the eyes, and I say, man, she lamb chopping you right now. And that was just, some shit only I would say. And so then, and even that is just like, a bunch of us do that. We just run with some shit. We say some shit, that's his thing. Or then, maybe it catches, maybe it don't. But in my own personal glossary. So yeah, we all in the Bay, man. Most of us got our own glossary in addition to what's already just out there in the Bay.
Well, what was the soundtrack to your junior high school experience?
Junior high school, man, wow. Definitely E40. The Click was out, Fugees. Tupac, the All Eyes on Me was out also. I did have a Spice One tape. Man, SIBO. I would get these like little mixtapes. I would kick it at in junior high. I went to junior high in San Francisco at this independent Black private school called S.R. Martin. That shit was a trip traveling. Like I would be traveling from either Richmond or Oakland, depending on who had custody. So yeah, that shit was a trip. Yeah, junior high was crazy. It was weird, man. It was a lot of, man, yeah. Who else was I listening to, man? Definitely hella E40, though. Really, it was really E40, man. That In a Major Way really kind of had control of my mind, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. It was really In a Major Way.
A lot of
major
game.
way, bro. I was just burning the fuck out that tape, dude. Really, that one had me.
Real quick, though, I think is a very... downplayed fact, but Tupac Shakur is a Bay Area rapper.
For sure.
A lot of people don't even realize they all associate him with either New York or Compton.
Well, he did do To Live and Die in LA though. He gave LA an anthem. You know what I'm saying?
Sure did, yeah.
And
you feel the way about that.
No. He gave California an anthem too. He gave California love. He gave California love.
That's the entirety of California, right? Bay. But yeah, he's a Bay rapper.
But he was on Dusted and Disgusted. That was
hey,
which was on In a Major Way.
Yeah, hey. The crazy thing is that it's like, man, you got LA. Man, I give you super props for surviving in Hollywood, or like where you stay and whatnot. Cause dude, people get chewed up and spit out, man. It ain't made for the faint of heart and all that kind of stuff. And dude, you gotta look at it. You got Corrupt, you got Tupac.
Philly.
Two people that came. I'm also listening to hella Dog Pound. Shouts out to the Dog Pound.
Yeah. You got two people that can't do. Corrupt came from Philly, dude. The gang culture, like the LA culture, dude, it was it for him. You know what I'm saying? Like it was it. When Tupac was going back and forth to New York, it was one thing. But dude, he was only with Death Row for, I think they want to say like 2 years or something like that. He wasn't with Death Row for like a long. It seems like he was there forever.
Pac or
Pac, yeah, Pac. He just got it. Yeah, he just got out of jail.
One album, right? Yeah.
But dude,
I remember this was when I was getting out of middle school, going into high school. The tragedy, man. Yeah.
But he went from Digital Underground, positive, all that kind of thing, to rapping different than the party songs, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe, going to prison, coming up out of prison, that shaping his experience.
Also the industry had also shifted too. The industry didn't want positive shit no more anyways also. So the whole game has shifted. And even Suge Knight, if you give him an opportunity to tell you, will tell you that his handlers or whoever was helping him distribute at Priority or whoever was distributing him, they didn't want positive shit either.
Yeah.
And when he was having them problems or shit with C. Dolores Tucker, that was, you know what I'm saying? That's the common foe that they had that was, dividing them, was that, they like, why are you degrading and, and they like, we degrading and shooting up everything. But really, we was doing some more shit, but they won't let us say that, but they'll let us do this all day, and then we also got, examples of motherfuckers like Too Short, who said he wanted to make an album with nothing but the ghettos on it. You know what I'm saying? The ghetto-like tracks, which is probably the track that put him on the map the hardest. The Ghetto, and it was an uplifting record, but the distributors wasn't trying to hear that. And so even though these cats is independent now, then that's another layer of veil that I looked at, was like, okay, now they releasing shit and I'm thinking they independent, right? Because they telling you that we independent, we get out the trunk, we sell independent. But then even then, it's not exactly. They just have more control, but then even it's like, wow. If they have, yes, you have your own label, but they say they won't distribute certain types of content. And so then
you gotta be making
relay that back to Death Row. You know what I'm saying? They all similarly had the same deal structure. I don't know what percentages cats was getting, but the infrastructure looked the same, to where they had their label, and then under the label was the actual label that was, the shit that you see the stars on, and yeah, man, the same names came up a bunch, yeah. And so
yeah,
you could see how Tupac could take could take that sway and be, in that position. It was kind of set up like that.
Switching gears real quick. Who is King Anyi?
King Anyi. King Anyi is a rhythmic motivational speaker. King Anyi is a rhythmic motivational speaker. It's a younger version of myself, man. That's how I started entertainment, under that name, Anyi Malik. Malik is Arabic for king, and I was just saying King Anyi. That was my radio. As a radio host, a host, on air, producer, radio commentary and feature producer for public media, host live events, stand-up comedy, rap. King Anyi is also a fool.
Tell me about this motivational speaking, man.
That's just
who is he motivating?
That's just like a alternative title to entertainer. You know what I mean? It's someone with rhythm, who's speaking, who's not gonna just entertain you. There's gonna be some gems in the mix. There's some rhythm as well. And I'm gonna speak to you in a motivational fashion, somewhat poetic, somewhat artistic. But there's gonna be some motivation in there. Definitely some inspiration. Yeah.
All right, got a better question before we move on. Who is Facial Face?
Well, legend has it. Legend has it. Facial face. Facial face, man, is a dynamic singer, man. I've never seen Facial Face live myself. But from what I've heard, man, Facial Face is really out there, man. He's got a dynamic sound. And man, I can't wait to see him one day. If you've seen him, man, please let me know how I can get tickets to that fool. Because man, I've heard some stories about Facial Face.
Yeah, it's, you know what's ironic is and I'm not trying to I'm not throwing any accusations out there, but a legend has it. We've never seen you and Facial Face in the same location at the same time. So I just wonder if you had any explanations about that.
Man, I know that usually anytime I'm frustrated and can't get on comedy stages somewhere, Facial Face breaks out somewhere else. And and it's messed up too, because I usually be available. You know, when Facial Face, I always miss it. It's crazy. Always just missed him by that much.
Because even I had a chance to witness Facial Face in person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you work with him a lot though, right?
I worked with him a couple times.
Y'all done records.
No, I mean that's swell. That's somebody else. But say for me, I was present while Facial Face was doing his thing, and I was really impressed. And I was like, dang, I wish Anyi was here to enjoy this moment with me. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just thought you could elaborate more on Facial Face. That's all.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, Facial Face. I love that. I love these questions that you asking me too, because it makes me feel like George Clinton. You know, I could be the George Clinton. I'll be the George Clinton of comedy, just coming through with hella aliases and releases.
Hey, we got a chat that keeps up with everything. And then this dude Ben Frank, he's like, who? What the fuck?
Oh, and here is a chat, or it's a YouTube
on
chat?
YouTube. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I ain't on the YouTube. Usually I have 40 screens open.
Now don't trip. I'm actually I'm gonna throw some questions your way from the chat soon, but
shit. They're not gonna be roasting me, asking me like the game or LeBron or hairline questions.
You good, bro?
Because I've been on Craig Facts a few times, man. I don't know if that's just their demographic or y'all, but man, they be cooking me. They be killing me.
That's because he roasts, man. It's more antagonistic. This is more.
I'll be dying, bro. Nah,
this is Oprah.
I used
a
couple of them things though. Yeah.
that's we Oprah, we Ellen over here. That's
we gonna have a heart to heart. We about to ask. Yo, okay.
So Anyi,
what's up?
It's a trip because whenever I see you, and it can have a lot to do with like my timeline and how we connect. You know, you probably always in a hurry or in a rush or whatever. But I'm like, man, I'm getting more information about you right now than I like it's giving me a whole new light. I'm like, damn, okay. I nah, it's dope. Like what you're doing is dope. Like I got it before, but I'm kind of getting it now. But with that being said, it's like you did the radio thing and the entertaining and the hosting and all that kind of stuff. But what was your path to comedy?
I didn't have no path to comedy, man. I had an incident, man. I had a car. I was involved in the car. I was sitting passenger in a car and said some funny shit, and the motherfucker crashed at a stop light. And this motherfucker crashed. And I've been silly, man. I've been cracking jokes. I've been clowning. I've been saying whatever. And people been telling me they thought I was funny, but this is like a moment where me saying something funny resulted in two people having to exchange insurance information, And so I was like, damn, a mechanic about to make 500 off my jokes, off me being funny, and I'm not about to get shit. And I'm held up, so I'm not even getting where I'm going that I was getting a ride to, on a certain time. So I'm getting all kind of fucked off, all because I'm funny, man. I should do comedy. And then I just was trying to do comedy, man. I was just hitting open mics and trying to just fuck with my own little rhythm of shit. I knew that I would be doing it for a long time though. Once I decided in that moment, like once I said that I should start doing comedy, and I was like, well, shit, I know I can. If I can make somebody crash their car, I can make some motherfuckers laugh, man. I can make, and since, yeah, man, like I like when drinks spill or when glass breaks or like somebody knocks something over, that's good. I like that. That's how I measure. I think I done caused maybe about $1,000 worth of property damage. Some light, so maybe some others have caused more amounts of property damage, but my comedy, I want to, I want to cause some property damage, maybe get into medical, but I have to get the releases first. I got to get you to sign the release, and then based on the medical bills, we rack up a real tab, and then that's how I'll measure the comedy, just in calamity. But yeah, in the Bay, I would go to San Francisco every Thursday to this mic in a laundromat called the Brainwash.
Oh yeah, Brainwash, yeah.
And my pops, man, he would come out there a lot. Yeah, Tony Sparks, man. My pops would come out a lot, man. My pops was hella supportive in my comedy, man. I think, besides him being the person to introduce me to live performance, like he put me out there when I was writing poetry. He put me out there to perform it at cafes and shit. And so when I was doing stand-up, I think he was excited on some level. I think he wanted to be a comedian himself, though. Because he swear to God, every time he talked to me that he gave me some jokes, he swear, oh man.
So to be clear,
shouts out, Dad, love you.
So your pops, so he just saw that you wrote poetry and was like, oh man, you need to get up on the stage here, or oh man, you need to get up on the stage there, or it was like you wrote poetry and then the two of you guys were kind of like, okay, how do we figure this or whatever? But or he was really like, dude, you need to get on you need to get out there and be in front of people with this.
The first time I was 10. He didn't put me out there to be funny. He was more intrigued about the comedy, but the poetry, I think I wrote a poem. I had an assignment and like a bunch of people liked it. I didn't really like it, but they liked it. So I liked them liking it, and I would read it and perform it. But then, on his weekends, on his custody weekends, he would be mostly at my grandmother's house. We would be mostly at my grandmother's house in East Oakland. And he would have these reads. And a lot of times I'd rather go with him than stay at my grandmother's house, but he was going out, he was going. And so, yeah, a few times, that's what we did. That's what I look forward to.
That's dope.
I would write shit just so I could say it in these places. And it was dope too, because it did allow me to say or creatively say a lot of this shit that I wasn't really allowed and able to say in my regular daily life. And so to even look forward to having some shit to say somewhere else that I wanted to say, and be supported in that in creative spaces was hella dope. And then, yeah, with comedy, I was, like I said, I was doing rap. I was recording hip hop and also doing commentaries and features for public media. So like NPR, KQED, this type of stuff. But that editorial process was hella whack. So I would be speaking on some real issues from the perspective of a young brother, a lot of times who exactly the shit was affecting when news broke of somebody getting shot unarmed or some shit. And, they want to talk to a young brother. I would have an offering, usually based on some real life experiences. Cause you don't have to really be into nothing to get harassed by some police, especially in Oakland, California. And so I would have I had a cool little kind of career of responding and creating kind of pieces, responding to this type of, activities and things happening. But the editorial process was so whack. Like a lot of times, by the times my pieces got aired, I barely agreed with what I was saying. I'm like, man, like they wanted it for the, what I'm saying? They wanted it. They had to get it, I was holding it up on this one point. And they really were, I just let it go after some, or some shit you fighting for some lines and they cut it for content and time. So it's like, damn, you can't have this and that. And it's just like, it was so whack to me. And so trying comedy was like, it really, especially open mic comedy, it really don't mind. There ain't no editorial process, man. The editorial process is basically where the laughs at, which is a much better barometer to go by than what is our donor base gonna think about a nigga speaking his actual mind about how because this is really under attack.
What was I say? Can you tell us explain what Bars at Noon? What does that mean to you?
Bars at Noon was my quarantine activity, man. Bars at Noon was another, that was a fun activity that I would do. That rekindle my rap excitement. I never like stopped rapping, but it was always, once I decided to be a comedian, I wasn't really gonna focus on rap. It's just like it's a higher pressure medium, you know what I'm saying? And you don't get to be weak. You don't get to be whack. You don't get to have fun so much. And the first brother that did it, man, they tried to kill him, Lil B with the bass freestyle. You know what I'm saying? And before we recognized him as a pioneer, Lil B the bass god, man. Was the pioneer of the bass free. I mean, the bass freestyle. He was a dope rapper from a dope group, but he's like, man, I'm gonna put out 100 songs, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna rap however I want to on it. And you gonna like one or two bars, you gonna like none of it. But it ain't even about what you think is dope. It's about me getting this shit out, me riding the beat, having fun, rapping for however long I want to on this beat for however long. And
you don't recognize or know who Lil B is. He is the creator of the I'm Gay album that came out in
but before that,
he was the leader of the pack, man. He was the leader of a group called
2011.
And they had a hit called
they don't recognize him from that. What they recognize him from is
I don't even think they recognize him from that because the pack the Vans is a classic to this day. The I'm Gay album was a blip on the radar, and that was a troll tactic. But it was also a bold statement at the time. He was the first, you know what I'm saying, without even, they're not recognizing him as an LGBT artist, but he was the first person to take gender. He took gender nonconformity and put that on the map, and that's why you got artists that'll won't trip out wearing nail polish and dresses and shit like that. You know, he crawled
so Lil Nas X could.
So Young Thug and others could fly. Yeah, so it's a lot of people. It's a lot of
I said so young.
That old Lil B.
So Lil Nas X can slide on a pole.
Not even just Lil Nas X. Lil Uzi Vert. All these niggas, man.
Kodak Black and all that.
All these niggas, man. I'm not trying to hear it, man. There will be no Lil B slander. All right.
no, dude.
Yeah, I'm saying. Man. All these niggas, man. He's their father in a lot. He fathered the whole genre, man. And he like Soulja Boy. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny that they connected too, because
he was the sequel.
Sure.
He
was signed on his label. He was signed on Soulja Boy label.
Yeah.
But and then also, anyways, Bars at Noon, kind of brought that kind of spirit though. Mm-hmm. When we was on lockdown, I just had I took beats from producers that had followed me and then unfollowed after I followed back. I just stole their beats and was just rapping on the wind. I said I would just rap over your beats, and I don't care if it's dope or tight. I'm gonna scrub your name, your little
you can't do that.
I did that because don't follow me and then unfollow after I follow you back. I'll take your beat and then it won't even rap tight. I'll just rap in the window for 5 minutes or however long I feel like it, because I got the loop. Because it was petty, and we was sitting here, and how they gonna find out you unfollow me? So haha. And so yeah, I did that. I started off doing that just in the window, just rapping on my IG live, and then I'll post it to YouTube later. It was just having fun, just rhyming when I would look out the window, smoking on Indo, looking at the bird over there, like just having hella fun, just kind of just going on the beat and just letting it take me wherever. And, sometimes I'll really even get deep and say some real shit about like some shit that I read in the news or read that was going on. But it was really just a activity to pass the time with that quarantine shit. It's something I would look forward to on Mondays and Fridays around noontime. I'll be rapping. At a certain point, I had to stop stealing beats, because
give me that beat, fool. Some full-time Jack, fool. Don't worry,
because then it was just like I was looking for people that followed it. I'm like, who do I follow that followed it? And then the homie Danny Sparks been sending me beats, so I was just like, he was just like,
Danny Sparks, is that
Danny Sparks?
Yeah, of course,
Daniel.
Yeah, we gotta have him
Daniel,
on.
We gotta have him on. Daniel,
that's my boy.
Yeah. So I was going on his beats, and then one of my favorite beats, that I would go on. I would just have so much fun on this one beat. At some point, I felt comfortable enough to freestyle in his studio over it, and ended up putting it on the comedy album that I produced in quarantine, the 6ix9ine Malik's XX Hilarity, Technology, and Sex album. I put a track on there, Bars at Noon, I freestyled in his studio over my favorite beat that I would do in my window as a part of my live streams. I did this beat. I did that freestyle. I put it on that album. My most recent album. Everything else I released has been an EP. But the most recent album, 6ix9ine Malik's XX, Hilarity, Technology, and Sex, got this track Bars at Noon on it. And then later I got a remix, man. I remixed it and actually got Lil B on the track, and I Am Sue. I put that out on the EP. It's a long ass EP. The pre-COVID, the pre-coronavirus trash bust. Yeah, it was crazy. But it's the one with this picture. Me flying up in the saucer. The Black Mirror Bandersnatch Bars at Noon.
But that came before drip. Yeah. That came after 6ix9ine Malik XX.
Yeah, that came after the album. That was an EP. That was a sub-release. So it was an EP, a part of the same project. It was part of the same project, but a different release. So it had a couple songs from that album, but it had the remix to Bars at Noon on there, and then another track. So yeah, even that. So then even getting into the aspect of what I'm putting out is not being just, album and EP. These are projects now. And so now the 6ix9ine Malik's XXX project is like a dystopian visual future. It's an opus, man. It's a comedy album. It's got the music on there, and it's also got a little comic strip that I put it all on the landing page that's associated with that album on my website. And so each release kind of embodies a different part of that story. So that Bars at Noon, Black Mirror, the pre-coronavirus Black Mirror Bandersnatch trash bust, that was so that part of the story is before the dystopian future part, the prequel part. So and so the album artwork with me on this flying on this hoverboard it plays into the Black Mirror, the flying cars track, and the personal flying device Bandersnatch jokes that I put up on that album.
Who did the artwork?
Ed Greer. Ed Greer, the homie, man. I always link up with Ed Greer. It just been making sense, man. Ever since Pop Grits, ever since I put Pop Grits out. I just, before when I was putting my stuff out, it would just be a picture of me and some words, but I did want to get more visual, and I didn't really, I don't have really not the time nor the temperament, and it'd be better to work with others who are really heavy in that space and spend a lot of time drawing. I doodle, you know what I'm saying? I don't really draw, I doodle. And my doodle game is fire.
All art is respected.
You know what I'm saying? My doodle game is fire, but when it like comes down to like somebody who I could holler at, who's gonna understand and really work with me on like expression and shit, and somebody I can support, somebody I know, and then be like, I feel good cashing out. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what it would take to do this. He let me know, and we run it up. You know, and it's
both Danny Sparks and Edward Greer are good comedians as well as artists and creatives. We're gonna have them on as well in the future.
That's dope, dude. That, you know, this is the longest I done talked to Anyi. Like when he's either waking up or he's about to get into something, or when he comes to my office, it's like 2 or 3 minutes, and dude, a whole different respect. But like,
Jeremy, no, you got
real quick, not to backpedal so much, but I went out. So the Pharcyde did shows with the Pack for Rock the Bells like years ago. So we did like several shows over a summer together, and we were at an airport. And I want to say it's when we flew in to do Red Rocks, maybe, but it was a small airport, I remember. And there was an issue with us flying back and planes. We were stuck at this little baby airport. And I remember me and Little B talked, and we talked for like about 40 minutes. And I remember being amazed by him because he's smart, dude. Like the Little B that everybody sees as the troll and all that kind of stuff. Dude, I talked to a young man that was like, he was almost impressive to me as like a Vince Staples kind of a cat, like somebody who's smart.
Absolutely.
Like somebody who's really smart, and you wouldn't know that from his persona music. You know what I'm saying? But a very smart cat, dude. Very smart cat. But with that being said, you come from the Bay, you here in LA. Give me 2 things that LA has better than the Bay, and 2 things that the Bay has better than LA from your perspective.
Well, y'all definitely got better beaches, for sure. Beach game, LA advantage. Yeah, I don't even think it's no beaches. And we got shit, they call it a beach, but them rocks is heavy as fuck. It's not sand. They got gravel ass beaches. And so yeah, definitely beaches. What else y'all got that's doper than the Bay? I do like the fact that there's everything out here times 12. And so like there's a multitude of shit. If you into something, if you into one thing, there's 12 of that thing that you can find. You ain't gotta just fuck with the one set of motherfuckers that do this thing. Oh, you know, and that could be something that's simple, or you know, as motherfucking ramen noodles to you know, complex as, you know, live performance art, you know. Yeah. So that's dope. It's like the multitude. And then definitely, I don't know, man. The Bay.
What do you miss?
The Bay got y'all beat on the weed, man. It's just, you know, it's just is what it is. And that's just like one of them things.
It's who you know.
Quality, yeah.
It's who you know.
Yeah, sort of. But then again, see now how there's that times 12. There's they got it's like who you know, and then who you know, there's 12 of those. There's 12 cats. There's like all high grade, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna sit here on this couch.
But you know what though? But that's the same as like, you know, it's like if you look at Humboldt County as Africa, you guys are closer to Africa than we are. So that's a whole different, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a whole.
That's funny.
No, that's crazy, man.
That's true. That's a whole nother thing.
Damn. And then yeah, I'll say the diversity out here, you know what I'm saying, the diversity in the Bay Area is just way more it's just way more exposure to different cultures on a genuine level, more so than the assimilated into the black and white mega frame out here that exists out here. Yeah, I feel like cats can be their culture out there. You know what I'm saying? Not like be the white version or have to be the white version or a hood version. But they will do both. They, both will exist, but but they don't have to. And there's examples, And so I think, the multiculturalism in the Bay and the willingness, to cross-pollinate, is also dope. Not just mix, but like actually like come together and meet with folks. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit more celebrated or more popping than out here. Yeah. To answer your questions.
No, we'd like you to dive back a little deeper into lamb chopping. If you
lamb chopping. How deep was the concept, like the terminology, lamb chopping,
the whole process?
Or the album?
Cause I tell you what it signified for me, and you touched on it a little bit earlier, where there was a time where now it's promoted like for a comedian to drop a comedy album. I'd say around the time I first started, that kind of was like a dated concept, because when people thought of albums, they thought like records, and you would hear like the older comedians would have records. And if somebody were to drop a record now, it would just be like, the like say the movie was the big deal, and then the VHS or the DVD was like the side piece that but nobody cared about it. But I say Anyi was the first person, I feel like, of our current comedy environment who dropped the album and made it the main entree, and he put a lot of work into it. And even then when he took a lot of backlash, because people was like, "Yo, why are you doing that?" But here we are now. Everybody doing it every
comedy
day.
People, but those are comedy people. It was never really about pleasing comedy people. It was always just only about cultivating your own people, man. Because the comedy people, they ain't your people.
But did they?
Not none. But no, I mean, dig this here. This is what I mean by that, man. I was looking at Louis C.K., man. I was looking at this is when I was working at the Hollywood Improv as a door guy. And you remember this, Jeremy remembers this.
Mm-hmm.
I had like 4 jobs up in there, no, 3 jobs. I was working the door, I was working the ticket booth, and I was running food. And I was doing hella stuff over there, and I wasn't really advancing like I wanted to, but it wasn't, at some point I saw it wasn't about me advancing in buildings, it's about me advancing with my own people, you know what I mean? And because, Louis C.K. would come through there and do a show, and then motherfuckers sit outside and buy the show that he just did. And this is in 2011. It's 2010, 11, and 12 and shit. So he was doing, this is what he was doing. So he was directly engaged with his base. He was, that showed me more than anything. And it was one night I did a cold open, or like a quick drop 5 minutes, because they'll let me do that every once in a while if there was time. And there was time. But then immediately after, Chris Tucker had just came in just as I got off the stage. And so I went up before him, and I already knew that I was going to get the response that I had the dopest set of the night. And he went up and performed, and he did not engage like I was engaging.
He's not even catching what you're saying. He's saying that he's a better comedian than Chris Tucker.
I'm not saying I'm a better comedian. I'm not saying I'm a better. I said I knew I was going to have a better night. And it don't matter when people tell you this and you going home to a studio apartment.
You ain't lying. You're not lying.
So I also knew that was coming too. And I had heard this before with like hella people that's been on TV. I had done this play a bunch of times, but this particular night, I knew it was going to happen before he got on stage. I knew that he wasn't going to do what I had just did. I knew nobody was already going to do that. But just the fact that he was somebody of notoriety that was going to come through and also not do what I did there. and me having had experienced that a bunch of times and knowing that it wasn't going to result in what I was expecting, nothing, you know what I'm saying? I had decided that's when I decided to release an album. So at least I could have something to sell after, you know what I'm saying? Or collect the email list, you know what I mean? So if one person fucks with me enough to buy a CD off of me, that's $10, and somebody that fucks with me, and that's a transaction that's more valuable than the pat on the backs and the kudos and the ooh, you crushed it.
Yeah, you turned it into something tangible.
Yeah, man, it is. Yeah, exactly. So then, yeah, that became the mission, was, cultivate people that fuck with me and have something for them, to not just have, to not just have more than a memory. And then also too, it was a comedian that had died in a tragic ass accident, Angelo Bowers. And he didn't leave behind nothing but clips other people took of him, and jokes that people maybe remember, and some joke books and shit, and we don't know how much time we got here, and the same cycle of just, doing stages and just telling the same 10 jokes all your life, so that you can, just keep doing this same thing day in and day out without, when you pass, you have nothing to show for it. People can't really hold on to you or have nothing that offer that you left behind. I was off that, So I was like, man, I was for sure going to at least have something that was left behind. And now, yeah, man, that's all I really grind for, is to think about the next release, man, to think about the next, how can these jokes fade into each other for a different type of package.
Yeah, that's what one thing. Thought about food, passing, whatever. I think he kind of got in that state of mind or whatever, but he didn't complete it. But I'd say having that legacy where people, that's pretty much the same thing. The only thing they got is the jokes, and I seen I thought it was dope that Chappelle had his picture up there along with other people who passed recently.
Many, and even before Angelo, and around that time, Angelo Bauer, man, I seen that up until recently, with food. You see it 100 times. You see a bunch of our cats, man, here, no longer here. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have nothing. You can pull them up on. They might have had some shit maybe they partially owned. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know how they owned it or how they wanted it to really be released. You know what I'm saying? On Comedy Central or on Netflix or whatever, or what they was working on, or, you know what I mean? It's not a lot. A lot of our colleagues, man, and our fellows go out and don't leave too much behind. And I definitely decided that was not going to be a part of what I was putting forth. And then also, you want to grow a little bit. You want to be able to do new shit. And so releasing stuff helps you release. I wanted to tell jokes. I wanted to put jokes to bed and be like, put this out, man. And be like, okay, now that I did these, I can go do new shit and say, I got some other jokes from the past that you can listen to. I could retire or archive shit. And it's just like, I could through my releases, like, capture growth and sort of capture my own growth as an artist, and to see how I hit my own arcs. And even not even knowing that would even, come to now. I'm not even thinking about the individual albums. I'm thinking about like whole releases, shit that you can do with singles and EPs. And like, when I upload the project, it's a project. They don't think it's an album. It's a project. It could be, an LP. It could be an EP. It could be a single. And so it could all be under one project. So like I said, changing how I release things, expanding on that, on how I even engage with that process, is even a journey in itself that I had to be grateful for.
What's the best advice someone's given you?
The best advice somebody gave me, I don't know, something about enjoying the present moment, you know, and at least just enjoying it. Yeah, accepting it and enjoying it. It kind of, you know, it kind of puts you in the seat of not power, but or control, but a sort of appreciation, which can lead to your own power and control of how you gonna navigate in the situation. But it kind of slows things down because a lot of times we be like in 100 different places, and none of those places are where we at. And so a lot of times, just coming back, centering to the moment at hand, to just be aware of it has been huge.
What artist inspires you the most out of anything, any genre, anything?
Damn. Artist probably inspired me the most. Probably had a greater impact. Man, who can I say, man? I feel like I said it recently, and if I don't, man, and a lot of times we just be saying shit. Like, yo, this motherfucker, if it wasn't for this fool, I wouldn't have. But damn, what artists inspire me the most? I think Ice Cube, man. Ice Cube had this moment. He had this moment with the Players Club, man. I'd like to have a moment like that of my own when he's like, here you have this brother Ice Cube. He produced the movie, direct the movie. He in the movie somewhere. He not the star of the movie, but he in the movie. So he acted in the movie. He did the soundtrack. He got the lead single, the lead single. That's a smash hit. It's a We Be Clubbing. It's a smash hit. Yep. So now the hit, the video is like fire. The song is fire. The song is charting. The song reference the video. Reference the movie. The movie fire is a dope ass movie. It's the movie. It's the video. It's the track. It's the song. It's the video. It's the movie. That shit was, he had a synergy. That was just like, you know, he's the script. He had the script. He had the directed. That shit is fire. That shit was probably the most inspirational thing I probably ever seen in this game. How he pulled all of that off. Where he was just like, it was just all, man. He was performing that shit on Nickelodeon, bro. He was performing We Be Clubbing. Look that shit up. He was performing We Be Clubbing on Nickelodeon, on all that, man. That was a run, bro. That was all him. That was, you know, we talk about brothers doing shit, but we don't talk about that moment he had that shit in Darth Vader grip. That was inspirational. That's funny. That was a move, man. That was inspirational. Like that was, I ain't never seen nothing like, never have I seen anything close to that moment, man. Nothing. Yeah. If anything came close, it only came close. It was like the nigga didn't write it or the nigga didn't direct it or something. He wasn't on the sound. He didn't spit bars. He wasn't, you know, yeah, man. Yeah.
Also, shout out real quick Ice Cube, as he is a prime innovator. He recently just got the NFL to reallocate $125 million into Black-owned businesses and banks and everything, thanks to Ice Cube, which I thought was very creative and innovative. And I'm not gonna bring your boy up. I see. So let's just say that was a little more helpful to the community if you're going to do a big move than somebody who instead told everybody don't do this deal with the NFL and then turn their back and then do the deal with the NFL, which was a step back for Black people, as opposed to what Ice Cube did was get the NFL to apologize with their money, which is great. So shout out to Ice Cube. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, man. I'm still trying to think if anybody ever had a moment like that We Be Clubbing moment, dog. I don't think nobody.
Nah, it was, you know, it's just, it means something to you culturally and like where you were that meant
Beyonce.
Well, no, you had like Melvin Van Peebles. You know what I'm saying? He was like writing, directing.
But he wasn't on the track. See, he didn't spit bars on the track.
Yo, you can't.
He didn't do.
No.
I know, man. Melvin Van, and he's a pioneer.
He's
a pioneer.
That's a good one, though. Dang.
I don't
want. That was before.
Oh man, yo, he said Melvin Van Peebles, yeah, but he wasn't.
All right, Idlewild, yeah, Idlewild. Idlewild was dope. What was the?
She's always in my lap. She's always in my lap. It had, you know, both albums.
That was from Speaker Box.
Wow.
that was from their albums.
Dang,
and they didn't direct that.
Yeah. It was.
They didn't write that. They didn't write and direct that.
Somebody came and took their celebrity and just made it happen.
Dang. We keep doing it, man. We keep going.
That's funny. Yeah, you're right though.
DJ Pooh didn't rap, man. DJ Pooh DJ. Yeah. Ice Cube, that was together.
He wrote Friday.
A lot of that. They wrote that together. Yeah. And Ice Cube did the soundtrack of that. But even then, that wasn't as.
But he had a bigger song on there.
Right. That song didn't do what We Be Clubbing did.
Dr. Dre had the biggest song on there.
Yeah, he had Ring Ding Dong on there. And then but We Be Clubbing, for the Players Club soundtrack with the Players Club movie, all at the same time, fam. Nobody did that. Nobody did nothing that with the script and the directing and that whole shit.
No, you're right. That's a whole lot.
Yeah, man. He scratched the whole plate, man. That shit was crazy. Yeah.
If you could have your dream verses, dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh man, versus. I mean, they'd have to be Prince and Michael, man. That'd be if we talking about dead or alive, it got to be Prince and Michael. That's just would have to happen. They're gonna have to hologram them brothers or something. They're gonna have to do with the estates. They'll probably do that. They'll probably get with the estates, had a rendering, to do the renders, be able to make that happen. But on the living side, you know, I am hyped, man, with the Usher Chris Brown talk, man. That gotta occur too. You know, that's kind of, you know.
Who you got in that one?
Well, I don't know, man. That's the other thing too. I think the culture wins. I get to say that. I think the culture wins because you're not gonna make a fool out of me. Have me saying the wrong thing, and then somebody get embarrassed. But really, I don't think Usher can hit a backflip on command and then hit the note. But then I could be wrong, note, man.
We were just proving. We were just proving that this is a singing competition.
I know. We'll see. But he do that though. But the brother do that though. And the brother, you're right. You're absolutely right. And the brother does that. The brother does that well. Both of them brothers do that very well.
You're absolutely
right.
That's
why I'm saying it would be like the culture will win, man. It would come down to the shit like singing. Okay, we know that you do. That's what this shit was supposed to be. It was supposed to be. We know y'all can sing, but then it was just like, we learned stuff. We all learned that. We learned about smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, so did.
We all learned. We all learned that we could all been R&B stars.
Yo, real quick. Yeah, that's what T-Pain exposed with the auto-tune. Like he made it.
That's not true because he could sing, and so then even then.
Well, I'm saying he exposed it by putting too much auto-tune, so people going like, so what's that on his voice? The rest of these guys have been getting by with auto-tune. That's how they've been singing their music. You know, and then when you get the live performance,
then you just went straight robot.
Yeah, but you get the live performance, and then you getting, you know, instead of one wish, you're getting 5 different wishes.
Yeah, that shit is the funniest, bro.
Ray J never
but even that though. But see, that's another dope thing about the times we live in, and even in an embarrassing ass moment like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that brother was embarrassed, you know, on a huge platform. That shit was embarrassing.
To my baby's born.
But even then, but we all remember though how they was harmonizing one wish.
He was mad.
Hell, and we still remember them harmonizing that shit, and probably will go run that record up just so we can sing One Wish. We can sing it just like we can sing it with the harmony. But it don't matter because he gonna bless it because with his streams getting run up, and that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Ray J,
but that's what I'm talking about. But see, even that moment, I ran in streams up because I had to go and listen to One Wish because it was stuck in my head. I had to one wish. Like that's so even the the troll, back to the troll economics, man. Even if it's embarrassing, like it's gone. I bet once the quarter is over and he look at what it rang up, well, look at what the embarrassment do for you. Like when you set it up, like damn, look what even embarrassment do for you. When you see these niggas post the video of them falling on their face, you like, why did this nigga post this? And it's like 2 million.
Somebody said the baby was plugging up their ears. Yo,
no, they did a lot, man. They did a lot. And yeah, man, he did somebody with how he yeeted the baby.
Yo, man, Ben Frank, man, I think he just gave you a collabo idea, man. He said one wing.
One wing. Well, that's funny, man. That's funny. I'm through with this wing project, man. I'm on to the next project. I had to spread my wings, brother, and fly like the angel. See, I finished the special. I got the special coming out, man. I'm working on distribution options right now. It'll probably be a self-published type of thing to the video on demand type of situations. But when I have those details, man, I'll be letting y'all know, man. But that's where I'm at. Yeah, man. The wings is over, man.
The wings is over.
With this set project though, this is a project. So this is an EP. I don't really talk too much about what I'm actively working on, but I can say this wing set is gonna be the first of many sets. And then, they're gonna be released as EPs, and then there'll be a greater album. There'll be a greater release that this is all leading up to. And I still got the sixth release on the 6ix9ine Anyi Malik's XX that I'm working on. So I'm still working on the past project, the next project, and the current project all like at once, man.
Yeah, if you ruled the world, what one thing would you change? If you had one wish.
What's up, Nas? I would put Ray J on Nas. No. Man. I don't know, man. If I had the wish, I would probably I'll probably manifest it for that cooperative utopia that's in the horizon, to where we not stressing on bullshit and is everybody has what they need, and there's no room for the petty hatred and divisiveness. You know what I'm saying? That air of the actual utopia that's within grasp. I would that would be my wish, man, to just be there already.
Nah, that's dope. So where were you when you heard that we had to be locked down for this COVID stuff?
I was I don't know if I was at home or I think I was in the apartment that I used to stay at. I'm no longer at, where I did all the bars at noon. I think I was there. Yeah. Yeah. That was weird. It was weird because I was already just looking like, okay, what's the bright sides? I'm looking at like not what you can't do, but what can you do? So I was like, damn. Oh, you can kind of go, oh, you just can't do X, Y, Z. Oh, this ain't okay. So I'm gonna do everything basically that I can do. And that was kind of my thought process. And yeah. So yeah. Oh, we could only go to the grocery store. I was at the grocery store like a motherfucker. Where I was super grocers. I was also like a walking around the neighborhood and picking flowers type of individual, fucking with plant life to bring back to the crib, to sort of beautify the space.
What would you say is and this will be the last one, we'll wrap it up. What would you say is the most creative thing that you saw happen during the whole COVID situation?
The most creative thing I saw happen during COVID probably was how we utilize Zoom.
I was thinking the same way.
Yeah, how, we still, and how Zoom kind of became we still of course we could be in the same spaces now, but now it still makes it possible to now we don't have to fight traffic and all these resources to connect, waste all these resources to connect. We have one and we can do a lot, with our devices over Zoom, like a lot. They do court shit on Zoom.
Yeah.
So that like Back to the Future. And it's not really, I don't want to say creative, but some of the uses of Zoom creatively has been dope, yeah. I think, yeah. Was some of the most, oh man. I think when they was like streaming events, like they would have the live event and like you could, attend the live event that was being streamed. And how like DJs were playing to the stream from around the world. You got DJs from around the world all on one stream. That type of shit. We was doing comedy shows. And not to toot my own horn, but I was hyped, like creatively, how I was able to make, turn my living room into a comedy stage with the curtain and the microphone. So to even have to depend on my own creativity through Zoom, because a lot of folks just sat in front of a screen like this. You know what I mean? Some folks set up a tripod and a ring light. But a lot of folks, just sat in front of their laptop and was kind of trying to tell jokes. And the energy was kind of crazy, like horrible, because they weren't really into it, and they couldn't fake it. And it wasn't set up for them to fake it because they was on their laptop. Meanwhile, it really didn't matter how I was feeling. I was going to come through the curtain. You know what I mean? I'm standing up, I'm coming through the curtain. You see how I show it to you. So we all on the same show. It'd be a bunch of us all on the same show, but my show is different. And so then even then I got to be creative. I got to be creative through this medium, even within my own comedy, that's I think I did. I had recorded the album, the 6ix9ine Ye Malik's XX album over Twitch. And I did that because I wanted to do that before Zoom. Because I already had the material and plans to record that material. But when it happened like that, I was like, damn, we got to just do it. And then now it's since not everybody's stuck home, but now it felt like a thing that we was not going to go back to having. We was going to always have this option of Zoom or of video communication. We had it with Skype. How Skype didn't get in, how Skype dropped the ball is not my business, but it's normalized for us to be in these screens. But you can still control that though. You can still, I don't have I didn't really put too much into my display here, but I didn't have the picture that I usually have there. And I embarrassed myself by going off. I would have had a picture, but I ain't got no profile picture up there. But damn, but when I signed on for my backstage account, because I had the main stage and then the backstage account, and so yeah, that shit is that Zoom as a tool is like, man, is tremendous. Was tremendous in this quarantine. The biggest shit.
Yeah. Cool. So you want to let us know where they can check out your socials,
man,
projects coming up, comedy.
Anyi Malik, man. AnyiMalik.com. Everything is on AnyiMalik.com. ANYIMALIK. AnyiMalik.com. At Anyi Malik on IG. Fuck with the latest post over there, the wing shortage. Check out the Wing Set EP on all your streamers. If you want to see the video, go to Anyi Malik. All the videos is up there, AnyiMalik.com. You'll click on the website for the Wing Set. It's a button right there on that landing page. It got the Spotify link. It got the videos embedded. It got the merch shop, which is powered by my Instagram page. So if you go to that last post, the wing shortage on my Instagram page, all the products will pop up. You get the Wing Set box, the tees, the stickers, it's hoodies, man. It's a bunch of stuff, man. The Wing Set box I would recommend the most. But yeah, check it out, man. Check the project out on your streamers. Tender, Tall, and Thick. The video for Tender, Tall, and Thick is available on Apple Music. So you can check that out. But yeah, just go to AnyiMalik.com. Everything you ever want to know about me, I'm going to post on AnyiMalik.com before I give it up to Zuckerberg. I promise you.
That's funny.
Dope. And you, Jeremy, what you got going on?
Pretty much same Jeremy Scippio at Jeremy Scippio.com, SCIPPIO.com. This week I'm at this thing is called, it's in Pasadena. I don't know what it's called. Hold on, wait, give me a second. Yeah, home cook comedy.
Barney's Beanery.
Barney's Beanery, that's exactly what it is. Yep.
Shouts out Leonard Smith.
Yeah.
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 Folks.
Then also I'm at Nightcap on Friday. It's located in Burbank. What's going on? I think that's it. Yeah, I filmed that. I don't even know if I talked about this on here, but I was away a couple of weeks because I was in my first film that will be on Netflix at some point in the future called Night of the Hunted. So check that out when it comes out at some point. Other than that, Jeremy Comedy on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah, nah, that's tight. Well, nah, man, this has been a good one. I definitely learned a lot more about Anyi Malik other than the rushed experience, you know what I'm saying, the speed chess experience, you know what I'm saying.
That was cool. I was just trying to drop little, not really phase him too much, but I was trying to jog his memory a few times. So that's what the questions.
It's all good, man. Yeah, no, I'm glad y'all had me. I should have rolled this hella earlier. I should have rolled this way earlier, but man, yeah, I appreciate you brothers having me on, man. Thank you. Yeah, I'll shout one of y'all out when the actual special is released.
Absolutely.
But thank you.
Cool. Well, this has been Splendid Radio on Pharcyde TV. Peace.